First graders, today we are actually going to take the drawing that we created in our pamphlet book for our monsters from the book If You're a Monster and You Know It, and we're going to turn it into an actual monster made out of construction paper. So here is the one that I did, and I literally looked at the book, which is right here, and I made this monster into my construction paper monster. You're gonna do the same thing. So you're gonna get back your packets. I have Natalie's here from Mrs. Harris's class, and she already drew her final monster here. I can easily see that this is her favorite one. She drew it out in pencil and she colored it. She is ready to move on to construction paper. If you have not done this yet, you have to draw your monster out first, or if you change your mind, turn it over on the back, draw your new monster, but you are looking at this picture to make your monster. You're gonna start with a bigger piece of paper to draw out the body of his monster. So you're gonna pick the color that your monster is. Her monster is kind of like a raspberry, so I'm gonna take the closest thing to it, which is this pink. I'm gonna look at my monster, and I'm gonna draw out the shape of the body only. I'm not gonna draw out its head or his eyes or his tail, just like this, and I'm going to cut it out. So there's a lot of cutting and gluing that is going to happen today, and we're going to make a scrap pile because you are gonna need these scraps to make your other parts to your monster later. So we're just gonna keep them in the middle and share the scraps. So here is the body of the monster. This scrap's gonna go in the middle. And the next thing I need to do is I'm going to make the arms. Now her arms are yellow, so I'm gonna go to the medium-sized paper. And in order to make two arms, here's a trick. Fold your paper in half so that you have two. Take your pencil and draw out the arm. Keep it closed while you cut it out. While you are cutting it out with two pieces of paper, you will be making two arms. Separate them. Now I have two of the same shape. It's a really great way to make two of something. You're going to use that a lot today. Now I want to glue my arms from the back, so I'm going to use my glue stick. I'm going to twist it open just a little bit, and I'm going to put a little glue on the back of this arm, put it underneath, press and hold, and if I use my little finger to press it down, it'll stay. Put a little glue here. It's purple, so you know where the glue is. Lift it up, put it underneath, use my finger, press and hold. Now, the next thing I'm gonna do is make the arms that have the hands on top. Now her hands are more like a circle shape. So I'm gonna go to my small size paper. Again, I need two. So I'm gonna fold my paper in half. I'm going to draw out the shape. I think that looks pretty good. Keep it closed. And cut around it. Open it up. Now I have two, and I'm gonna glue one to this hand and one to the other. So I'm gonna turn it over, put a little glue on the arm where I know it's gonna attach, put the hand on top of it, rub it with my finger, move over to the other hand, put a little glue on this side, take my hand, press it on top, rub it with my finger, and now I'm moving right along. And the next thing I need to make is the tail. Now the tail is the same color as the body, and I actually still have this scrap paper. So I'm going to use the scrap paper to make my tail. I'm gonna see how big I need it to be. Her tail kind of curves up, so I'm gonna do just that. I'm gonna draw it with my pencil. That way, if I make any mistakes, I can always redraw it. I'm gonna cut it out with my scissors. Nice and neat. Keep the scraps in the middle for sharing. And now I'm gonna attach the tail. That looks good. So then I'm gonna put a little glue here. Put it underneath. Press it down. And now we've got it looking pretty good so far and looking pretty much like the monster. I'm gonna make this a little bigger because we need more space to see my whole monster here. Now, the next thing I'm gonna do is my monster's eye. She has one big eye, and I'm gonna use the white here. And since I only need one, I'm not gonna fold it. I am gonna draw it out. It might be too big. I'm gonna make it a little smaller. And I'm gonna cut this out. I'm gonna cut away the extra. Cut around. I'm gonna glue it right in the middle. And then she has a nice little black eyeball in the center. So I'm gonna use one of those scraps that we were using that is nicely already at our table. That looks pretty good. And I'm gonna put a little glue on this one and stick it down. Now I look again at my picture. I've got the eye done. I still have to do the mouth and the horns. I'm gonna go to the horns next. Her horns are blue, and there are 2 of them. So I'm gonna fold the paper in half. I'm gonna draw out her pointy horns. I'm going to keep it closed while I am cutting so that I can make 2 of them. And I'm gonna glue it from the back. That looks great too. So put a little glue here, press it down, rub it with my finger, put a little glue here, press it down, rub it with my finger. And the next thing I have is this cute little smile that's gonna go right across here. Well, I already used red, so I can use my scrap for that. And I think what I'm gonna do is cut out a nice big smile. This is a happy monster. This might be too big. It sure is. So I'm gonna make it a little smaller. Just like that. And I'm gonna glue that one down too. That one's not as happy as I want it to go, so I'm actually gonna make a different smile. See if I like this one better. That's cuter. Okay, swipe it with the glue, flip it and stick it down here. Then I check to see if there's anything else I can do. Well, for her, she has these cute stripes on there. We have to make those out of construction paper too. And if you're ever using something where you need to make stripes, another way you can do that is same thing where you take your paper, fold it in half, and start cutting out strips. Being careful of your fingers. And these, I can glue these down all on the arms, and I can snip those off later. What a nice detail to have on decoration here, all the way around. That purple on that glue stick disappears, so don't worry about it. If it's showing through for now, that actually just shows that it's still a little wet and it needs more time to dry. These monsters are gonna have to go on the drying rack because of the glue stick. I do not want any of our monsters to stick together, so they're gonna go on the drying rack for the night to dry. And another thing that we're gonna need to make sure that we have on our monsters, that is probably the most important part, is we are gonna have to put our names on the back. So when I finish, or when I'm getting close to being done, I'm gonna flip over my monster. I'm gonna take my pencil. I'm gonna put my name on the back before I bring him to the drying rack, just like that. Now I'm gonna keep working on this monster. This is the monster, like I said, that I did earlier, and you can see the added details that I did on the polka dots, on his arms, or not his arms, his legs, on his horns, all those cute little things that make our monsters unique.